Why is it easier to have vices than to create good habits? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, why is it so easy to spend hours on Instagram, but so difficult to go for a run, maintain a healthy diet, or even study? It seems unfair, right? The secret behind this lies in your brain. Today, I'm going to explain why vices capture us so quickly, while good habits seem to require almost superhuman effort. And the most important part, how you can turn the tables and use science to your advantage to create the life you desire. The power of vices. Vices and habits share the same brain circuits, but with one crucial difference: the timing of the reward. When you post a photo and get a like, your brain releases dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter, almost instantly. It's like winning a quick and easy prize, which makes the behavior more and more addictive. Now, compare this with actions like exercising or starting a diet. The reward takes much longer. It can take weeks or even months for the first results to show up. It's like planting a tree, you don't harvest fruit on the first day. And that's exactly what causes so many people to give up before they even start. Studies show that, on average, it takes 66 days to form a solid habit. But, don't worry, this number can vary. Some people manage it in 18 days, while others take over 250. It might seem discouraging, but the good news is that there's a shortcut, and I'll show it to you now. The secret to creating good habits. If creating good habits feels impossible, it's because you're doing it wrong. It's not about relying only on willpower, but about using practical strategies that turn actions into automatic reflexes. Small adjustments in your daily routine can create a domino effect, where a small initial push generates a big impact over time. Let's look at some tips now. Organize your environment in your favor. Your physical space can be a great ally. Let's take the example of creating a healthy routine. Replace sugary drinks in your fridge with juices, water, teas, or beverages with low sugar content. Make everything healthy visible and ready to drink. That way, when you open the fridge, the healthy choice will be within reach. Instead of leaving processed foods within easy access, organize fresh fruits, nuts, and protein-rich foods in a way that keeps them always visible. This way, your first option will be something nutritious, without even having to think about it. If you want to build the habit of exercising, leave your running shoes, water bottle, and workout clothes in plain sight, already prepared the night before. This eliminates any excuse for not being ready. Each of these actions simplifies the process and reduces the friction between you and the habit you want to build. Think of it as a domino effect. The small initial push can create a big impact over time. How to eliminate bad habits and vices? How do you combat them? The logic is the opposite. Make access harder. If you want to drink less, take the beer out of the fridge. Want to reduce your time on social media? Uninstall the apps or leave your phone in another room. By making these behaviors harder to perform, you create barriers that can prevent or discourage the repetition of the unwanted habit. This technique works because it creates distance between you and the automatic behavior. Even simple tasks, like picking up your phone, become harder to do, which discourages repetition. It's the same principle that helped reduce the number of smokers worldwide, public space bans, and making access to cigarettes more difficult. Another option is to implement a waiting time to avoid the unwanted behavior. When you feel the urge to do something bad, like buy something expensive or eat unhealthy food, take a deep breath and wait 10 minutes before acting. Often, the desire fades during this interval. You can also make small contracts with yourself. For example, before eating a sweet, promise to drink a glass of water and wait 5 minutes. This can reduce the anxiety for immediate gratification. An extra tip: create a social commitment involving others. Tell your friends or family about your goal and set up rewards or penalties. For example, if you break the habit, donate a certain amount to a cause or ask a friend to monitor your actions. Before we continue, if this video makes sense to you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's move on. Reprogramming your brain. Our brain is an incredible machine of adaptation. It has the ability to constantly reprogram itself, but there's one fundamental rule that governs this transformation: neurons that fire together, wire together. This means that the more you repeat a behavior, the easier it becomes to perform because the brain circuits involved in that behavior strengthen over time. The good news is that this works for both negative and positive habits. That is, if you replace a bad habit, like social media addiction, with something more productive, like reading or exercising, your brain will start creating new neural pathways. Over time, these new actions will become as automatic as the simple act of scrolling through your phone's feed. In other words, your brain doesn't distinguish between what is good or bad, it just adapts. The key is repetition and consistency. By persisting with new positive habits, you strengthen the neurons that sustain these activities, making them more and more natural, until eventually, you won't need to think about them anymore. Be prepared for slips. Even with the best intentions, you will slip up. And that's okay. The secret is not to give up. Each time you slip, use it as an opportunity to get back on track. The more you persist, the stronger your new habit will become. Remember, take it one step at a time. It might be tough in the beginning, whether it's running in the morning, eating healthier, or reducing screen time. But trust me, over time, you'll be surprised and might even start enjoying the change. To conclude, building good habits and eliminating bad ones isn't an easy task, but it's a completely achievable journey, as long as you adopt the right strategies. The secret lies in understanding how your brain works and using it to your advantage. Our brains are malleable and adapt to whatever we repeat, whether it's a positive or negative behavior. The first step is understanding that it's not just about willpower, but about systems and strategies that make change easier. To create good habits, the key is simplification. Organize your environment to make the desired habit more accessible and automatic. For example, replace items that represent temptations with healthy alternatives or create visual reminders that help you stay focused on what matters. Start small, setting realistic goals that can be achieved gradually. Remember, a small step today can lead to big results tomorrow. On the other hand, to eliminate bad habits, the strategy is exactly the opposite: make access more difficult. If you want to stop scrolling through your phone feed, uninstall the app or place your phone somewhere you can't easily reach. If the temptation is junk food, keep those options out of sight and in hard-to-open packaging. The extra effort of not having everything within arm's reach creates a barrier that discourages automatic behaviors. In the end, change doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency and the right approaches, you'll start seeing results over time. Changing your habits isn't about being perfect every day, but about sticking with it, even when the results aren't immediate. The true transformation lies in daily repetition and a commitment to change. So, start now. Identify the habits you want to create and the ones you need to eliminate. And remember, the power to change your life lies in the small daily actions you choose to take.